As a deadline approaches for a deal on the Colorado River, a worst-case scenario could emerge.
This is different. This is unprecedented.
I'm Ben Winslow in Price. The Utah State Engineers Office is floating the idea of curtailments if an agreement isn't reached on managing the Colorado River.
The water's just not here.
Faced with impacts from the ongoing drought, Kevin Cotner has let some of his fields fallow.
It's a way to help, maybe, and get compensated.
He volunteered to do it, and he's getting paid by the state because he lives on a tributary of the Colorado River. Now he and other water users are facing the possibility of significant curtailments.
It would definitely impact anyone, any water user, for sure.
In a lot of ways, this is very, very unprecedented.
The Utah State Engineers Office brought up the idea during a meeting with the Colorado River Collaborative, of which Fox 13 News is a member. Instead of being able to take their share, water rights holders may have to just let it go downstream. Curtailments do happen frequently, but not on the scale of multiple states along the Colorado River.
It is about being prepared, certainly. It's a possibility.
If it were to come to pass, agriculture would be impacted. So would the drinking water supply along the Wasatch Front.
We're all hoping and crossing our fingers that a deal is reached and that we find a proactive way to address these concerns.
There would likely be a lot of legal challenges, but the deputy state engineer says it's not time to panic. 7 states along the Colorado are still negotiating a new agreement to manage the river that supplies water to more than 40 million people. States are pledging to make cuts. Environmental groups are also paying people to use less, like a project to help restore the Price River.
We'll be able to significantly reduce the number of low flow days in the river, and that has impacts for our native fish species, for their habitat.
Cotner hopes for a deal, but here's what he'd like to see.
I guess we'd like to see him come to some type of an agreement where we aren't impacted as heavily as potentially we may be.
Now, the Trump administration has given the states a November 11th deadline to have some kind of a framework. In a statement, the head of the Colorado River Authority of Utah tells me negotiations have become focused on the art of the possible, given the need to respond to poor hydrology and low reservoir levels, which will persist into next year when the rules governing river operations expire. Utah remains committed to a negotiated agreement rather than a litigated or federally mandated outcome, and we're working in earnest on a consensus plan to meet the November 11th deadline for an agreement in principle on a 7-state deal. In Price, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.